and welcome to Tea Life with Tiffany. I am your host, Tiffany Denise. Thank you for joining me and my cadre of amazing friends as we sit and sip tea and talk everything from pop culture to tea culture. Tea life is what your life should be. Calm, cool, and collected, just like a cup of tea. Hi, I'm here with Warg, Executive Director of Moorish Jamel Mansion. So what are some of the most exciting things that come with your job here at the mansion?
I think really the most exciting thing is planning the future of the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, embracing the past, explaining the past of the mansion, but making it viable to the community now in 2013.
Awesome. And how is the reception in the community?
You know, it's been growing for the 5 years that I've been here. Previous to that, I think the community really was a little detached from the mansion.
Right.
And it's a case where now they feel welcome. We have such a diverse group of programming for them, whether you're a family or you're adult by themselves, and things that are free and low cost. So they really feel embraced by the mansion now, which is one of my big goals.
Hi, I'm here with my friend Mario Nicholas with Mario's Travels.
We are going first to Dubai.
All right, let's
I have
go
to
to
take
Dubai.
you there,
Let's go
right?
there
Because
first.
I've been once. I don't know if I'll ever make it back, but I was privileged enough to go once.
I hope you got
And-
video.
Oh yeah,
Good.
we do have some video. I was fortunate enough to have high tea in Atmosphere Lounge in the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. And so to be at level 122, 122nd floor of the Burj Khalifa.
How many feet is it? It's the tallest one, do you know?
I don't know exactly how many
We'll
feet
look
it
it
is.
up.
We'll look it up.
Yes.
But that's the highest I've ever been.
Yes.
I stopped counting after 122 because I just couldn't understand,
Right.
what was going on. But it was
Okay.
really, really high up, and it was a really, really great service to have. As with anything like that, it gets a little touristy. It's a huge tourist attraction. But I was still able to be, with myself. I went with a friend, and we sat and had tea. But I was still able to be in the moment and
Yes.
appreciate the journey that I had taken
Yes.
to be in that space at that time, as a tea enthusiast and someone who loves tea,
Yes.
to just be there at that moment. It's both historical for me and for my life, and
Yes.
just really, really epic.
What was something, the tea service or the presentation that really stood out to you, that you were like, wow?
It was a lot of eye contact. It was a lot of eye contact when they serve. It wasn't just we're going to serve your tea or your cocktail. It was a lot of eye service, and it was using by name, calling you by your name. And so that makes a huge difference, when you're having tea. It's one thing to have your tea served, but when you're having your tea served as Mr. Nicholas, it makes a huge difference because they're paying attention.
Hi, so we're here with Mario Nichols of Mario Travels and Flo Anthony, celebrity journalist, and Arthur. This is awesome. So I'm so excited to have you both here. Both of you are wonderful personal friends and associates of mine. And how I met you both, it's just, the stories are just so amazing. And I wanted to have you here today because I thought that you would be a good pair to sit down with me and have tea and talk.
Perfect.
So
Thank you
we're
for
all
inviting
we all love tea, right?
We love tea.
Fantastic, Tiffany, we love it.
Okay.
Thanks so much for having me.
Not a problem. So today I made us a special blend. This is one of my signature blends. It's called a White Rose. And actually I met Mario about almost 2 years ago
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
at DeKalb Market
Yeah.
in Brooklyn.
What a random day that was.
I know,
Yeah.
but I kind of knew you were coming because you tweeted me and you were like, I've been following you, I'm going to come down. Did you ever hear about the DeKalb Market?
Yes,
thing
I
in
remember when you
Brooklyn?
had your story.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
So Mario came down one day, and I was like, he's so tall and so handsome. I was like, hey, Mario. It was so cool.
You
It's
sure
always
it's the same person?
yes, it was you.
Okay.
So what tea did you buy for me that day? You bought
I think it was an iced hibiscus
Right.
that day. Yeah.
and then you're like,
Yeah.
what kind of? And you were having lunch.
Yeah.
I think you ate from Cheese.
Yeah, right next door. Yeah, I was like, I need you to pair something with this sandwich. So she
Yeah.
did. I left it up to you, and you didn't disappoint. So
I
that's
didn't
good.
disappoint. And then you took home some of this tea, so I said it would be apropos to serve it today. So
Perfect.
cheers.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
Tea time.
Tea time.
Such quaint cups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
This is delicious.
Very delicate, soft flavor.
It's the same as 2 years ago.
It's wonderful, in fact.
Luckily, it's not the same
It's
as
not
2
the
years
same.
ago. Right?
Wonderful.
And Miss Flo Anthony, I mean, I grew up watching you on television.
Well,
As
thank you.
You know that I'm a huge Jackson Family fan, and Flo, you know, she did all the celebrity reporting on everything Michael. So I could always count on, you know, tuning in whenever Flo was on television to know that I would get the real deal.
Yeah, and it's really exciting because LaToya is coming to New York. She should be here tomorrow to do a play called Musical the Musical for 1 week off Broadway at the Kirk Theater on 42nd Street. So it's going to be an exciting week here
Absolutely.
to have her in town.
Absolutely, with Michael's birthday just passing.
Yeah, Mike's
and
birthday just passing and everything. Yeah.
That's so amazing. And last
Yeah.
year we did a tea party.
Yes,
And you were the guest
for
of
Michael's
honor.
birthday.
Yeah.
It was a lovely, lovely night.
In Sag Harbor in the middle of the week.
I heard about
And it was a full house.
Yeah.
Full house. That was
I heard
amazing.
about
You know,
it.
everybody came out from the city in the middle of the week. You know.
It was a lot of fun. And so now, Flo, how long have you been? Have you wrote any books before?
Yes, Deadly Stuff Players is actually my second novel.
Got it.
The first one was called Keeping Secrets, Telling Lies.
Mhm.
And some of the same characters are back. The two main characters, Valerie Rollins, she's a gossip columnist,
Mhm.
and Rome Nyland, he's an NFL Hall of Famer turned private investigator. They're back again in Deadly Stuff Players and once again solving a murder.
Oh,
So.
wow. So I would love to hear just briefly about how you came up with the particular storyline and the characters. Was any of it loosely based on people you know in real life that you put
Well,
into
you know,
this?
Valerie is virtually me.
Got it.
You know, she's a gossip columnist.
Mhm.
Rome is not really based on anything. I love sports. I actually started out in sports reporting, but I don't know if I was in between my time, ahead of my time, whatever. But the entertainment reporting it's made money. The sports reporting didn't.
Right.
So it would make sense for me to have a football player in my book. In this particular book, I also have a baseball player, Rael Jones, and I also have a black jockey by the name of Vance Dumas. And I love, love, love horses. I mean, I always wanted a horse growing up. My dad couldn't afford to buy me one, so I didn't have a horse. So now I have this horse wilding out. He's not my horse, though. He's actually Vance's horse in the book, and he's a racehorse. So I love ring scene. I always loved going to the Kentucky Derby. And I originally, I got the idea, well, first of all, I don't know if you know it, all novels should really take place in the course of 7 days. It shouldn't be any more time from, you can bounce back and forth, you know, to the past, you know, talking about it within those 7 days, but they should all be done within a week. And there was a book several years ago, and I can't even remember the author, that was about the Oscars. And it was a week leading up to the Vanity Fair party. You know, everything was, you know, the big deal of the Oscars is just to get invited to the Vanity Fair party. So I thought of doing this murder mystery leading up to the Kentucky Derby because a friend of mine, Rowena Miller, used to have the grand gala of the Kentucky Derby. And she started this to get African Americans to come to the Derby. So I thought, okay, I'll do this and it'll culminate, you know, at the Derby. So then Zane, first of all, Zane Strieber, who's, you know, the most famous erotic fiction writer alive. She sold 5 million books and 2 TV series and movie and all. Simon & Schuster gave her own imprint, and so my book is Strieber Books, and Zane presents. So Zane told me the date my book would come out would be November 19th. I said, oh God, so what do I do here? The Kentucky Derby's in May. So I got on the internet and I saw where every year at Hollywood Park, there's a cash call for charity race, which is a qualifying race for the Kentucky Derby. So I said, okay, that's it. We'll make, you know, my horses run that race. And I'm like a big, big lover of Christmas. I mean, I love Christmas as much as Tiffany loves Michael Jackson. So I'm like the Christmas kid. I must have been an elf in another life. So I said, I'll put a Christmas theme in the background of it, since it's coming out November the 19th, and it'll all work. So instead of a grand gala, like Rowena used to have at the Derby, I have a Santa sleigh ball.
Oh, wow.
And so...
The Santa sleigh ball. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
What happens at the Santa sleigh ball?
Oh, nothing. You know, the Santa sleigh ball is it calm. All the murders and everything have happened before. In fact, that day at the cash call for charity race, we finally arrest the murderer. that's been, committing all these murders for an entire week. So the Santa sleigh ball is really kind of anticlimactic. Everybody's there happy. Praise God.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna come back to that in terms of what gave you the inspiration to do like mystery writing. My mother's a huge fan of like Edgar Allan Poe and what's the other, Stephen King, and there's a lot of different writers who really focus on mystery. So it's exciting that you are.
Well, I was asked to do one. Actually, Michael Wiener, he passed away. He was married to Deborah Raffin, and he had Dove Books. And I used to be on TV with him a lot, and he'd be telling me off. I was mentally deranged because I was taking up for O.J. Simpson and Michael Jackson. I mean, he told me off to the point that my relatives in Michigan said, "Who is this man? We need his number. We're calling up." Then I answered my phone one day. He said, "It's Michael Wiener." I said, "Huh? Are you gonna try to kill me on my phone?" He said, "No, I'm doing a series of black books, black mysteries, and I want you to write the entertainment one." Wow. And so that's how Keeping Secrets, Telling Lies came about. And I don't know, I had the forte for me, like my Cindy Adams, she's my mentor. And, she called me up, she said, Michael's going ahead with your book. And so that's how it happened. I was asked to do one, and somehow I could do it.
That's awesome. So Mario, so I want to hear about these travels, Mario Travels. How did Mario Travels come to life?
It started about 2 years ago. I had an idea to do a web series because I was traveling. I've been traveling since birth. I've been fortunate to be taking these regional trips. Just growing up in Antigua, having the opportunity to go around to the different Caribbean islands and come to the U.S. to visit family, twice a year when school was out. And I thought, I'm going to be traveling anyway. I should probably document this in a video series. So it started very locally and domestically. I started doing, for budget reasons, we started in New York and Pennsylvania, but I've been traveling beyond that since the series started. And, within that time, interestingly enough, I started working as a travel consultant. And so my passion and my day job kind of just married each other, and so I'm very happy about that. So yeah, it is. It really is. There are a lot of people who go to work and they're doing the grind on the side, trying to get that to work. And I'm fortunate to say that I live and work and play within the same industry. So it's very exciting.
Where are some of the most exciting places you've been?
Some of the most exciting. Believe it or not, it's not some of the furthest away. Some people would believe that the furthest away you go is the most exciting. I just got back from the Cayman Islands last week, and that was just a different opportunity for me. Growing up in the Caribbean and having gone to Barbados and Trinidad and St. Martin, etc., going to the Cayman Islands was very different. It was almost like Bermuda, I would say, very reserved, very British. Afternoon tea is a big deal. And so that was really exciting. I went earlier this year to Dubai. Dubai was amazing, as I'm sure you've heard.
Share us a few stories.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, just having the highest high tea that you can possibly have in the world on level 122 of the Burj Khalifa was just exciting beyond exciting. The view of the city, the service, the people, just the atmosphere in general was just really, really great.
You told me a story about the bus stops being
air
conditioned.
Yeah, they're air conditioned bus stops. It's really, really hot. It's extremely,
what is it, 100 and some degrees there all
the time? Like 110, 112, even in the evenings. But it was really great. I went out in the middle of the day only once during my entire trip because I would look out the window from the hotel and there's no one out. And we went out, my friend and I, we went out and we ventured out and we realized why no one was out in the middle of the day. They were either working or just staying put until the evening came and it cooled down. So it was really, really fantastic.
You shared two things with me about that trip that I thought was so unique. Not just the air-conditioned bus stops.
Which is a big deal.
Big deal. But you also talked about the prayer time.
Yeah, the call to prayer happened 5 times a day, and so it was just really interesting. I'd never been to the Middle East before, any Muslim country, so this was very, very interesting just to see people gathering in the streets.
Automatically.
Yeah, at the call to prayer, it rings out. I don't know if you've ever heard that sound. It rings out in Arabic, and so people are gathering, and they know that it is the time to pray, and everyone kneels in certain places, and it's really spectacular to see.
You can go to the mart on 116th Street and see that.
Absolutely.
When I'm trying to buy some bootleg something, and they're in there praying and they can't get in.
No, you gotta wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
So it was just really, really interesting just to see that and just to observe that. So it was great, a special opportunity.
And then the story about women were, because women and men aren't allowed to do certain things together.
Absolutely.
And it was a beach. And
Yeah,
it was just for
so
women.
and that is in Abu Dhabi actually.
Mhm.
So Abu Dhabi about 2.5 hours driving away,
Yeah.
and so what they're developing is a beach, and a
Mhm.
beach that is going to be completely covered from a 360-degree angle, so that the women could feel very comfortable to remove their burqas and abayas and be
Mhm.
able to swim. Because going to the public beach, you will see that the men are wearing whatever, but the women are also still fully clothed. So they're also either in really long skirts, swimming in long skirts and
Wow.
long blouses with their burqas and abayas still on,
Yeah.
or really long pants, so they're still very covered in the beach.
Very interesting.
Yeah, just to
Different
observe their
cultures.
culture.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So
Yeah.
what's the future for Mario's Travels? What do you want to see develop with Mario's
So what I want to
Travels?
see is hopefully what will happen, which
Yes.
would be a television
Will
series,
happen.
a travel television series. I feel like there's a need for it. You know, a lot of people when they hear travel television, the first thing is, oh, Anthony Bourdain. You know, Anthony Bourdain is very different. You know, quite epic what he does, but it's still very different. You know, he gets into the food of the culture, but still it's a very political. I tend to delve a little bit into the political aspect of the
Yeah.
destinations that I visit, but I still want to keep it culturally focused.
Yeah.
And so that is the food. I want to talk about the drink and of course the tea.
Absolutely.
We want to talk about where the people eat, how they eat, when they eat, do they exercise, what are some of the things that make these cultures unique.
Yes.
So that's kind of my focus, and hoping that, you know, with the hard work that I'm putting in now, will bring it to that point. So that's what I'm working on.
How
you
do
know.
both of you find the internet? Because I know both of you are on Twitter. We all follow. Well, I know I follow both of you, and you follow me. Hopefully yesterday we'll all follow each
Yeah,
other.
Yeah, I'll be following you as well.
How do you find social media to add to your brand?
It's interesting. I don't know how much it actually does add to my brand. I know it adds to me getting in touch with people that I haven't been in touch with in years and communicating with them every single day. I think I find that exciting about it. Where it might, I guess it does add to my brand, is finding out information before the information either hits the media. It's very, very good for that. I mean, it's funny that Hurricane Sandy, I really found out that Hurricane Sandy was about to hit. Arsenio Hall tweeted Russell Simmons, you know, you guys are about to have a hurricane there.
Wow.
So it's very interesting to see how it helps in that.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's going to sell my book. Now, if it
I
sells
heard
my
that.
book, we can be on the money.
I know that.
But
That's right. So where
Let's
will
see
we
that.
be able to find your book once?
oh, everywhere.
November the
Bookstores,
17th?
in bookstores, November the 19th,
November
and
19th.
bookstores all over the entire world,
Wonderful.
everywhere. But also, you can pre-order it now on Amazon.com and you beat the rush.
Absolutely, and we'll make sure that our viewers know exactly how to find that. We'll give them all that information. Mario.
Yeah, you know, social
Social
media
media.
for me has
Yeah.
just been amazing. You know, to your point, it's great for information sharing and fact finding and that type of thing. So in that regard, absolutely. But as a travel consultant, marketing your brand, marketing your destinations, marketing your products within those destinations has been amazing. Has been an amazing, amazing opportunity for me. Just the connections and the relationships that I've formed,
Yes.
meeting you know, via social media. That's
Yes,
one
it's true.
absolute bonus, I would say. And just meeting people around the world.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I visit other destinations as well, most times there's an actual tweet up that we do. So we'll all
Right.
say, hey, I'm going to be in Dublin. And so everyone who's in Dublin at that time, we get together and we go, you know, on a pub crawl, you know, and you get to put the face with the name. These people you're tweeting with, and you feel like you know them.
Yes.
And so you get to the destination and you actually work on a friendship and developing a friendship. So yeah, it's been absolutely amazing in terms of sharing information, disseminating information, marketing, building your brand. I mean, you know, if you know how to use these powerful networks such as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, they can work for you.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today. It's been exciting.
Thank you for having us. And Tiffany, I have to
Thank
say
you.
that you're
Thank
just
you.
so magnificent and innovative with
Thank
all
you.
that you do with tea and
Thank
even
you.
finding this place, the Jamel Mansion, that I've never even heard of. It's just a joy to know you.
Oh, thank you. Well, that is an honor for you to say that.
Absolutely. Very, very
Thank
appreciative
you.
of the work that you do with tea
Thank you.
in your community and beyond.
Oh,
People
thank
are watching.
you. Cheers.
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 Cheers.